I'm going to welcome everyone on behalf of our fearless leader, Tim Pauley, our director, and also Sanaz Riahi, a VP of Practice Academics and also our CNE. Welcome everybody to our first Lunch and Learn in our Lunch and Learn series during the Research Week. It's very exciting to have Sanaz and Tim to tell us about, where we have been and where we are going. And also, Tim is also going to follow Sanaz's presentation to tell us, what we do at research and what kind of support and we provide to everyone in the organization. So without further ado, I'm just going to let you take the stage.
Sure. Tim, you're okay if I go?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Fabulous. Let me just share my screen here. Give me 1 second. Can you guys see this?
Yep.
And can you see it now as a full screen? Lovely. Oh, okay, perfect. So I really appreciate everyone joining us on Lunch and Learn, and I wish that we were in person so we can give you a lunch. So if you want to eat, please do eat. And we don't mind seeing your lovely faces while you eat, but you can turn off your camera if you like, we understand. As Mary suggested, I'm going to share with you guys, over the last number of years, all the wonderful accomplishments and that we've done within the research and academics portfolio. I do want to, before we get started, I must acknowledge Mary and Tim, because certainly they're the lovely leaders who have pulled like 99% of this presentation together. So I will do my best to do it justice. I think what I want to make sure that's understood kind of at the end of this is there's tons of work that's been done over the last number of years within our academic plan that's for 2017-2022. I will not have a chance because I only have less than 30 minutes to share with you guys everything. So I'm going to do my best to highlight what I think are, key areas. But please note, if you are someone that's within the research and academics and I haven't had a chance to highlight your work, that it's not because it's not important and didn't contribute to any of the pillars. It's just I'm very limited with time, and you know me. If you know me already, I can talk and talk. And anyways, I'll do my best to capture as much, but I'm so proud of the work that has been accomplished. I think, if we look at year over year, the work that's been done, that hopefully you see through this presentation and the work that Tim is sharing, hopefully you'll notice that evolution that's happening within our research and academic plan. We've really evolved from our last academic plan. We are now in our last year of this academic plan, and actively are now in the mode of working through creating our next research and academic plan. And I'll kind of save that for towards the end of the presentation to talk to you a little bit about that. But what I'm showing you here right now is the 4 pillars in our academic plan around focus, leverage, partnering, and delivering, and how they align really well with our current Ontario Shore strategic direction, although they are a separate plan and live kind of apart from each other for this academic plan. So my hope is to go through kind of each of the pillars with you, share with you some of our key accomplishments, and really highlight that, as we're in our last year, we've certainly not only met our goals that we have set out for the academic plan, but in my opinion, we have superseded many of the areas that we thought we wanted to accomplish. And really thanks to the entire team and the collaborators that you've also worked with to accomplish some of this work. So within the focus pillar, I think the 3 areas of focus for us have really been around data science and technology innovation, around research programs in recovery and dementia, and then how can we influence mental health education and curriculum. And so certainly I think having Dr. Carolyn McGregor from Ontario Tech as a chair in AI for health and wellness has been one of our key accomplishments, and her working with our teams to move that area forward. Certainly, Dr. Crystal Martin's work around the First Responders app and really collaborating with Durham Region Police Services have also highlighted some of that work that we're doing around data science and technology. We've also, over the past number of years, did work with, for example, trialed work with IBM Watson to look at violence prediction and aggression prediction, and really trying to kind of better understand what that technology can help provide us. And that's kind of laid some of the foundation for some of the new work that we want to really work on over the next number of years coming. And then when we look at the work around recovery and dementia, certainly Dr. Simone Arbour has done wonders around recovery, both kind of leading the way, but also as well collaborating with other folks. She's been involved in an international consortium and involving the adolescent recovery research landscape, and also kind of more recently developing the implementation of guidelines of recovery-oriented practices in collaboration with Mental Health Commission of Canada. And I know that's really coming near the end, and something to be really proud of soon. I think everyone can see the final product. All of the work that she's done around recovery assessment scale and recovery college, which I'll share in just a second. In the dementia world, certainly I think people who've been here a little bit longer were familiar with Dr. Arlene Estelle and some of the wonderful work that she had done for us and for the area of dementia. And we now have Dr. Amr Burhan that's really looking more at the neurocognitive research area and the work that he's doing as well. And so I think lots of work underway. Our Living Labs work with Trent University and our clinical demonstration unit with Ontario Tech. I think these are all really work to be proud of around this pillar. And then just when we look at the education perspective, I think really continuing to support students. And I know that we've really had some shifts during the pandemic, but certainly continuing to do the wonderful work that we're doing around bringing students in and supporting education in that sense, but also working around guest lecturing with, for example, Dr. Arbour guest lecturing at Trent University and Durham College, the recovery workshops that we provide for our new hires, for example, at orientation, which is kind of net new over the last couple of years. And I think those are all wonderful ways for us to really influence the way we're educating folks around mental health and building those expertise that we know definitely are not consistently available with the academic institutions. And I think one that we continue to work on, and I can certainly speak of the work that I'm doing with our other partners with Waypoint, CAMH, and Royal Ottawa, partnering currently with Georgian College to try to see if we can build a certificate program in mental health to really try to bridge the gap that exists for health professionals that don't necessarily have those specialized education and have to come into the mental health sector as generalists and learn within the job, and how do we solve some of those gaps as well. Really great work here around the Recovery College, expanding in our partnerships with CMHA. Certainly Dr. Simone Arbour leading this with others within the organization and within research and academics department. But just to show that we have expanded to 20 recovery colleges. They're operationalized. There's 9 more that are being planned, and there's 8 other recovery colleges that we're exploring opportunities to provide, open that up, and then also do some evaluation, and the post-secondary school recovery colleges that we are now doing both with Ontario Tech, UTSC, and McMaster's, and exploring with others. I mean, these are especially in the post-secondary area, we haven't seen others internationally do that, and something to be extraordinarily proud of. And the fact that we're putting a research lens onto that, I think even creates more credibility and rigor that I'm really proud of to have a team that's part of that as well. And then when we look at the leverage pillar, this is really around how do we advance achievements of our academic health science center mandate, and then achievements of our Ontario Shores strategic directions. Lots of work has gone underway around continuing to support our learners and enhance our learner satisfaction. I know there's incredible work, not only to identify where are areas of opportunities, but how do we kind of mitigate those gaps and provide better supports and services for our learners. And also looking at the service culture that we are providing for our student experience. And I think these are all so important, because what's something that we're really proud of is what we know is a lot of our students that come to us actually can end up finding their jobs here at Ontario Shores as well. So for us, that's also a great success story where we can really support our students to find an area where they're interested in and that they demonstrate really great success and end up transitioning into a permanent job. Which is lovely to see. Also, a lot of, we're at a lunch and learn now. So I think these are all just examples of how do we continue to really advance some of the work that we're doing, the grand rounds that we do. I think those are continuing for us to be very proud of. And then when we talk about the strategic direction, I think lots of ways for us that we've demonstrated over the years, but I want to, I guess, just highlight specifically, I think I've been at Ontario Shores for 11 and a half years. So, I've kind of seen a lot of involvements, and I think no other year have I seen the involvement of research and academics being so much more closer to our action planning and our project initiatives within the organization, and really seeing that integration has been lovely to see. And I think one that just speaks to that evolution of research and academics further integrating within the organization, and lots of great work on that. Just checking time. Tim, I'll be done in time, I promise you. We also have within the partner pillar, I think this is one that I am really proud of. I think that we have done a lot of work under this. And I think this partner pillar really speaks to a lot of who we are at Ontario Shores. We are collaborators. We love to be inclusive and work with others to make a difference in the mental health system. And so the work that's done under these pillars, I think really further demonstrate that more from an academic and research lens as well. Proud of the research chairs that we now have. Certainly we have, as I mentioned, Dr. Borhan and his research chair, mental health, applied mental health research chair, and doing some wonderful work with Mervyn and his team. Some of the affiliation agreements or REB agreements, that we have created with Ontario Tech, I think hopefully will help some of our work ahead and our collaborations to create more efficiencies. We have lots of great cross appointments, and I think this is the first year that we can really truly say we have some really great cross appointments with others outside of Ontario Shores that are really not only keen to do a lot of work with us, but are bringing such great value to our research and academic team and to Ontario Shores and our overall strategic plan and moving that forward. Certainly, I think developing our memorandum of agreement with University of Toronto Scarborough campus and the work underway, I think that's really exciting work. I've highlighted some of our researchers that we collaborate with, Jessica Fields, Mike Best, David Rudler, to just name a few. And I know that there are discussions about others having some affiliation appointments with us and creating some of that research collaboration. I think our membership with CTO is one that's I think of great success, and kudos to the team for all the hard work doing that. I think that takes us to a different level of caliber. I think also to share, our ongoing collaborations with locally within the community, such as Ability Center, kind of speaks to us and our values around community and how do we work within the community to continue to build our community as well. Some of this I've already spoken with too, but One exciting, maybe I want to highlight one exciting collaboration soon to come is becoming members of the Toronto Dementia Research Alliance, starting in the fall. And I think that will bring lots of opportunities. Research Impact Canada has really approached us and are considering us as members who are, certainly we're outside of their eligibility criteria for membership, because they're all academic institutions as part of their membership, but reaching out to us to support them in looking at how we can be part of that association, and the values that we can bring and the values that we can gain also. So really proud that we're pushing the envelope in those areas where perhaps organizations at our status wouldn't have necessarily been considered for membership. So really great to see that as well. I'm proud of the team for accomplishing those. And then lastly, looking at the deliver pillar, this is around acknowledging, from a outcomes and metrics perspective. We do have a academic research and academic scorecard that we have metrics against, and you'll see some of them in another few slides, but really ensuring, our return on investment from a dollars perspective and our accomplishments around that, but also looking at our learner satisfaction and number of publications and the different impact and values that the research and academic department is bringing forward. And I'm very excited to kind of share with you some of our metrics. Even though we have been in a pandemic, it's great results. And then we also look at, how do we influence mental health care practices? And this is more around that design and evaluation of clinical programs and the work that we've been doing. And also the education reports that we create to really highlight the work that we're doing as well. So I think lots of work happening under here. And just to share with you some of the key highlights of, I would say, last year, although not to be lost kind of in the highlights over the last number of years, because I do appreciate this is some of our work for the academic plan from 2017 onwards. But for the last year, although in a pandemic, and as many of you who are part of the portfolio can appreciate, lots of things slowed down or paused. I'm so proud to kind of see our grant success, 33%. It's amazing, really above target. Our number of dollars of grants awarded, again, something to be really proud of. And I would say, even though we see lower numbers of active studies and new projects, and perhaps some of that is attributed to the pandemic, I would say the caliber and the depth of projects and studies that we're seeing are more complex than we have seen in the past. So I would say it requires more kind of resources and more time of our researchers. And that also, I believe, kind of contributes to a lower number, because the caliber and the work that we're doing is also evolving as well. And then when we look at knowledge translation and exchange, lots of work underway, although we know that certainly the number of KT participants absolutely was lower for all the right reasons. So proud of the number of publications, definitely exceeded our target, and even our journal impacts, wonderful and to be proud of. I mean, we hadn't seen these numbers before, and I think these are really just contributing to or reflecting kind of the work that's been accomplished over the last number of years, and the team's dedication. Aside from all the work that REB does in supporting our research studies and moving some of those forward, I think it's important to kind of highlight some of the work accomplished under kind of the REB bucket, which has been around, as I mentioned before, getting that designation as a CTO participating site, with now a goal of really becoming a CTO qualified site in 2021. We have board of record with Ontario Tech that I shared with, and really now looking at what that could look like with Waypoint and Royal Ottawa as we pursue looking at some, continue to work with them to collaborate on various studies. It would create lots of opportunities for efficiencies. As well, under kind of the bucket of our mental health health information system cluster that we Waypoint, Ontario Shores, and Royal are participating in, lots of opportunities for us to look at. Now that we've standardized documentation and practices, how can we pursue some studies and do some evaluations to look at, are we making a difference at a grander scheme in the care that we provide for people? And then maybe I'll just move on from here. This slide, really, I just want to acknowledge all the changes and all the quick responses that the academic department and research department had to make for the pandemic. And so lots of work that has gone, aside from all the operational work and day-to-day work that had to be done, people had to pause and really pay attention to some of the changes to respond to COVID. And I really appreciate everyone's time and effort. And I do want to highlight some of that work that was done as well. And then, although this slide does not do it any justice, because there's much more excitement behind these 4 bullets than I could kind of put on a slide, I do want to spend a few minutes, and I think I have a few minutes. I do have a few minutes. Tim, I'll be done in 3 minutes, I promise. I do want to spend a little bit of time talking about, okay, where are we going now? We're in our last year of research and academics. As I mentioned, we're fully actively now starting our next year. And what we've decided on, and very purposely decided on, is that we no longer want to have a research and academic plan that's separate and a standalone. What we want to do is want to integrate it within the strategic plan. And we have done that purposely because one of our visions for research and academics is that we really do see the portfolio as one that enables the strategic plan and the organization. And in order to be able to have it be an enabler, it needs to really be integrated within the strategic plan. And so that's our vision. How that will be developed at the end, I think that certainly will, it'll have to go through its processes. But I think, we want to do that because our focus right now, and our focus will continue to be around applied research. What we really want to do is how can we make a difference in people's lives with a critical lens of research applied to better understand how we can serve people differently and how we can serve them better, and have that information quickly reach the people that we are serving, rather than your typical timelines of anywhere between 15 to 17 years,